Run me, Bam. That's nice. That's alright. That's nice.
I'm Bamz, 21 from South London. I'm here at Point Blank Music School and Bam's got bangers really. I'm a music producer and programmer and DJ. I work closely with Nadia Rose. I've produced Station, Boom, Breathe Slow, Poltergeist featuring Alika, and the recent single, Big Woman. Today I'm going to be making a beat on the fly using Logic Pro X, and I'm just going to delve into the kind of techniques and plugins I use, how I structure my beats, and then just overall talking about how I create the vibe in my music. Alright, so on this channel I've got Contact 5 loaded up, and I'm going to be using this string ensemble Symphony Essentials for the first melody I'm going to be creating. It's going to be a grime instrumental, so 140 BPM, and yeah, what I've got on here is the articulation, so you can choose between it being a sustain, so longer notes, or staccato, shorter notes. I'm going to leave it on sustain. So cool, I'm just taking a look at the MIDI here. Some of the notes are overlapping, but that's alright because on the sustain articulation, like you want to leave some of the notes kind of flowing into each other. So that's there. I'm gonna duplicate this channel and just select another instrument within Contact. So I'm gonna go for the brass section. Quantize these actually. So I'm going to do brass staccato now, and I'm going to hit it as hard as possible. So yeah, just kind of following the melody, but on each bar, it just gives it a bit more impact. I'm going to create some drums now. So I loaded up the trunk kit. Just a simple drum roll, and then I'm gonna add like more percussive elements to it just to give it a bit more bounce. So I'm gonna duplicate that layer and then add some like hi-hats and stuff. I'd like to start off very simple when it comes to like hi-hats and stuff, and then I can just build on it and then I add a few more. So the next set of hi-hats I'm going to do is going to be more in triplets. And I'm probably just going to pan it to the left and do whatever else to give it a bit more dynamic, and then probably add some other percussion as well, and then the bass line. So just gonna go to quantize and do triplets. And then we'll go back into battery and then just pan it to the right. And then cut the low frequency. Maybe add a bit of reverb. Gonna do a quick bass line now. I'm gonna go in Serum. Serum's really good for bass lines and just some really like hard hitting leads and pads and stuff. But the basses I really enjoy using. Again, this is how I just build up the loop so that I have an idea of where I'm going, and then I'll go back over everything and then pay more attention to detail to it and fix a few things. I like turning up my snares like to the highest velocity to make it as punchy as possible. Well, that's if it's the main snare. If it's like ghost notes, then I'll leave the velocity how it is. I want to turn up some of these kicks as well. I'm creating a new instrument now, and I think I'm going to add a synth pad layer and sidechain it to give it a bit more motion. Sidechaining is like one of my favorite things to do, and I feel like that's what makes my sound to a certain extent. I always have some element within my music where there's something sidechained, like I said, to give it a bit more movement and motion. I really enjoy using synth pads, so I'm gonna go for something muted. Also, I wanted to mention that I'm not classically trained in keys or whatever, so everything I'm doing is by ear. Yeah, so if I don't know the chord change, I'll just leave it and then I'll probably just draw it in or record it in afterwards. What I'm doing here is holding shift and the backslash, and then that will cut your notes to the nearest bar. I'm just gonna make that the same velocity. And I'm gonna make another channel, and this is gonna be for the sidechain. So we're gonna use Klopfgeist. I think that's the first time I've said it right. I don't even know if I've said it right, but this is what I'm gonna be using. We're gonna put this on a bus channel and then change that to no output so that the actual sound doesn't come through. Then we're going to use a compressor on the pad layer. Select the bus channel. Change it to sidechain and detection peak. And we're just going to draw in quickly the sidechain pattern. It's going to be every... So you can hear that it's ducking a bit because this channel is the trigger. It's very subtle. So what we're gonna do is change that. I like to leave it around 4.1, 4.2, the ratio. We're moving the threshold down towards 50, but that makes it duck more or less depending how much value you give it. Turning down the input gain, because by the time you increase the threshold, it makes it louder as well. You don't want that to be too overpowering. I'm gonna turn down the sustain on the pad as well, so it's a bit more abrupt. Yeah, I like adding like another layer where it's got a bit more treble, more of like a high frequency noise, so maybe like a synth bell. So for that I'm using Alchemy. I forgot to say what I'm using for the pad is also Alchemy, which comes in the new Logic Pro X. I'm gonna use a synth mallet again. Gonna go mysterious because I don't want it, I'm trying to keep it dark. drop towards the end. Yeah, I just did one note, but I just stacked 2 octaves basically. I think I'm just gonna add one more sound just to pick it up a bit. Like so. Very swift. Extend that. I'm gonna loop that, but I'm gonna change the sound first. Like that one, maybe just a higher octave. I'm gonna use an effect plugin called Pan, and it just basically synchronizes panning to whatever bar you want it to. So mine's set on 2 bars. And I'm just gonna do that every 2 bars. And yeah, that's like pretty much how I just get my projects going. And yeah, these are the kind of like the same techniques I used in Nadia Rose's recent single, which is called Big Woman. Yeah, like especially in terms of creating the melody. I did the drums differently in that project, but that's something we're gonna explore anyways.
Wow. Big woman then, big woman now. Big woman now. Big woman flex, big woman sound. Big woman a big woman bud when I piff the loud. Ay, piff like Kel, touching on me like.
I've loaded up the Big Woman instrumental. I started this beat on the 415 on my way back from Old Kent Road. I was actually coming back from the studio that night. This melody was like circling around in my head, and I just had to get it into Logic before I forgot it. So I just brought out my laptop on the bus, and yeah, just got it down, went back home, slept on it. Next day, I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I just literally, first thing I did was like wake up and then just started working on the beat. Sent the first draft to Nadia, and she was like, yeah, this is hard. I felt it within me that it was going to be hard. It's actually such an overwhelming and surreal feeling, like seeing people dance to your music. It's nice to see that people feel free when they listen to it, especially the women, because that's who the song's for. It's for everyone, but for the women especially, because you know we deserve to have fun, and it's just how we see fit. And I think this is one of those songs that makes you feel like that. So in this case, my drums are dragged in samples, and none of them are MIDI, but all the melodic instruments is all MIDI and plugins. So I'll just go through the drums quickly. So I just dragged in this snare. Another open hat. So like a pretty basic dancehall structure and dancehall style track, especially with like the four bar counting with the snares. Like you would hear that in a lot of dancehall and bashment tracks, especially the percussion, like the drops. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I've got some synth stabs here. I use Alchemy for that. And then I've got like another guitar synth string as well to kind of layer it. So that brought more of the synthesized element to this track, as well as like more of an electronic element to this track, paired up with like a heavy 808 and a saw bass to give it that grittiness, as well as the bounce as well. So I'll just play that through. Obviously, that's how I kind of created the bounce and just the leading melody. And then I brought more of an orchestral element to it. Obviously, I love my strings and my brass. So I added a trombone portamento legato at the start of it to kind of create that intro dynamic. So when the beat hits, you know the beat hits. So it gradually fades in. Then added some cello staccatos along with violin staccato. Then a string legato. By this point, this is the second 8-bar of the 16-bar verse. I like to change the sounds every 4 to 8 bars to keep it interesting and, you know, give the song more of a story, because I think people forget that with music production, you're also playing a part in making the story and making the song what it is. That's that bit. So there's the fast legato there. So this is the hook or chorus, whatever you call it. I've added a trumpet staccato. This bit gives it more of like a Latin salsa feel, as well as like that reggae feel as well. To be fair, that this is pretty much it in the production process. When it came to the mixing process of the song, like the structure did vary in a few areas of the song. We added more elements to give it more impact, and yeah, I pretty much oversaw the whole mixing stage as well, because like I said, I love to pay attention to detail. I'm not a perfectionist. When I have an idea for a song, I want to see it, you know, reach that potential at least. So yeah, obviously I made sure I was present as much as possible in the mixing process along with Nadia. We just got it to a place where everything tied in together, and when the beat hits, you can feel it hit, and even if you're not necessarily listening to the lyrics, you can hear the instrumental and just vibe to it. We've played this song in like some of the rough mixes in like clubs, and the response was crazy. So we knew that by the time the mix was final and it was released and mastered and everything, that it would just bang. When it came to recording Nadia, it was pretty straightforward. Like, she had an idea pretty much straight away, which was nice. So when we got the draft recorded, we already had like a sense of direction. At the time we recorded the draft, I think she was still working on her EP, so we didn't delve into it as much as we would have. But by the time it came around and we needed to work on it, like, it was literally one thing after the other. She had the verse, she had the hook, and I was like, yeah, add some harmonies, add some stabs. And then towards the end of the song, we were just thinking, yeah, we need more something to give it that finale feel. So I was like, add some more ad-libs, add some more singy bits, and then it just felt right afterwards. It just felt like by the time you reach that part of the song, you're like, yes, I can sing my heart out. And you can say what she's saying with your chest, like as if it was you. Like, yeah, I'm a bad girl, I'm the big woman here. And yeah, I love this song. I love all the songs I make, especially with Nadia. But this one by far is, yeah, it gives me very, very, very good warm feelings. And yeah, like I said, it's just very interesting and amazing to see how many people resonate with it.
Big woman jacking nothing underneath. A big woman thing, a little pick on it. Bad girl give to you good as feed, and you got it once and you never got it good as again. Bad girl give to you good as feed, and you got it once and you never got it good as again.